The world watched. Tim Cook, Apple CEO, met Donald Trump, former president. The setting, Mar-a-Lago, Trump's opulent Florida estate. This wasn't just a dinner, it was a power play. Tech giants and political leaders are locked in a delicate dance. They need each other. But who's leading? This meeting was a prime example. Cook, facing regulatory heat from Europe, needed Trump's ear. Trump, with his finger on the pulse of American jobs and trade, held potential sway. The stakes, high. The outcome, uncertain. Mar-a-Lago, a place of luxury, a place of power. Trump's home turf. Choosing this location for his meeting with Cook was no accident. It sent a message. This was a meeting of equals. The atmosphere, reportedly warm. Cordial. But beneath the surface, tensions simmered. Each man had his agenda. Each man, his leverage. The dinner was just the beginning. The real negotiations were about to begin. Cook and Trump. An unlikely pair. Yet, their relationship has been surprisingly stable. Unlike other tech CEOs, Cook has managed to avoid Trump's Twitter wrath. They've met before, they've talked trade, they've even found common ground. This history of amicable interaction was on full display at Mar-a-Lago. The two men, comfortable in their shared space, seemed at ease. But was this genuine warmth, or a calculated facade? Only time would tell. Not all tech leaders have enjoyed such a smooth ride with Trump. Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook and Sundar Pichai of Google have faced the brunt of Trump's unpredictable temperament. Accusations of bias, threats of regulation, their relationships with Trump, rocky to say the least. This contrast highlights Cook's savvy. He's played the long game. He's built bridges, not burned them. And now, as he sat across from Trump at Mar-a-Lago, he was reaping the benefits. Section 5, the App Store and the crosshairs. Can Cook convince Trump to play defense? The App Store, Apple's cash cow, and a prime target for European regulators. They're calling it a monopoly, they're threatening fines, they're demanding change. This was a key issue on Cook's agenda at Mar-a-Lago. Cook needed Trump to understand, to see this as an attack on American innovation, to push back against European overreach. Could he convince Trump to be his ally in this fight? The answer could have major implications for Apple's bottom line. Section 6, tariffs on the table, iPhones in the line of fire, trade wars, tariffs. These were the hallmarks of Trump's presidency. And Apple, with its global supply chain and reliance on Chinese manufacturing, was caught in the crossfire. iPhones could get slapped with tariffs, prices could rise, sales could plummet. This was another point of contention for Cook. He needed to protect Apple's interests, to ensure the free flow of goods, to keep those iPhones affordable. But could he reason with Trump, the master of the deal? Section 7. I'm not going to let them take advantage of our companies, Trump's promise to Cook. In a world where business and politics often intersect, the words of a leader can have profound implications. This was especially true when Donald Trump, the 45th President of the United States, made a bold promise that resonated deeply within the corridors of corporate America. Trump had said it before. His speeches were filled with declarations aimed at protecting American businesses from what he perceived as unfair practices by foreign competitors. He often spoke with a fervor that suggested he was ready to take on the world to ensure the prosperity of American companies. I'm not going to let them take advantage of our companies, that won't be happening. These words were not just a statement, they were a promise, a commitment to stand up for American interests. For many it was a refreshing change from the usual political rhetoric. These words were music to Cook's ears. They offered hope. Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, one of the world's most influential technology companies, had a vested interest in the policies of the administration. The tech industry, with its global supply chains and international markets, often found itself at the mercy of political decisions. They suggested that Trump might be willing to go to bat for Apple. The possibility that the President of the United States would actively support and protect American tech giants was a tantalizing prospect. It meant potential relief from tariffs, support in trade negotiations, and a more favorable business environment. But were they just words? The business world is no stranger to promises that go unfulfilled. For Cook, the challenge was to discern whether Trump's declarations were genuine or merely political posturing. The stakes were high, and the future of Apple, a company that had revolutionized technology and consumer electronics, hung in the balance. Would Trump follow through on his promise? The question loomed large. the president's track record was a mix of bold actions and controversial decisions. His approach to governance was unconventional, often leaving both allies and adversaries guessing. Cook, sitting across from him at Mar-a-Lago, had to gauge the sincerity behind those words. The setting was intimate, yet the conversation carried the weight of global implications. As they discussed the future, Cook had to read between the lines to understand the true intentions behind Trump's promises. The future of Apple might depend on it. The decisions made in that room could shape the trajectory of one of the most valuable companies in the world. For Tim Cook, it was not just about business, it was about securing the legacy of innovation and excellence that Apple had built over decades. Section 8. What's next for Apple? The potential fallout of a presidential sit-down. The dinner is over, the plates are cleared, but the echoes of the conversation linger in the air, filled with promises, concerns, and the weight of decisions that could impact millions. But the real work has just begun. Behind closed doors, teams of analysts, strategists, and advisors are dissecting every word exchanged, every gesture made. They are trying to predict the ripple effects on the tech industry, the economy, and global trade. What will come of Cook's meeting with Trump? Will it lead to new policies that favor innovation and growth? Or will it result in stricter regulations and tariffs that could stifle progress? The stakes are incredibly high. Will the App Store be spared? The App Store is a cornerstone of Apple's ecosystem, a marketplace that has revolutionized how we access software and services. Any changes to its operation could have far-reaching consequences for developers and consumers alike. Will iPhones escape the tariff acts? The global supply chain is a complex web, and tariffs could disrupt the delicate balance, leading to higher prices for consumers and lower profit margins for Apple. Only time will tell. One thing is certain, the relationship between tech giants and political leaders is more important than ever. In an era where technology drives economic growth and shapes societal norms, the decisions made in these high-stakes meetings can alter the course of history. They are locked in a delicate dance. Each step, each move is calculated, with both sides trying to gain an advantage while maintaining a facade of cooperation. It's a dance that requires skill, strategy, and a deep understanding of the other's motivations. And the steps they take together will shape the future of technology, for better or for worse. The innovations that emerge from this partnership could lead to unprecedented advancements, making our lives easier, more connected, and more efficient, or they could lead to increased surveillance, loss of privacy, and a widening gap between the tech-savvy and the tech-illiterate. The future is uncertain, but one thing is clear: the decisions made today will echo for generations to come. Section 9. The future of big tech. Walking the tightrope between innovation and regulation. In today's rapidly evolving technological landscape, the relationship between innovation and regulation has never been more critical. As we delve into this complex dynamic, we see a world where the stakes are incredibly high. Cook's dinner with Trump is a microcosm of a larger trend. This meeting symbolizes the intricate dance between tech giants and political leaders. It's a delicate balance where every move is scrutinized and every decision can have far-reaching consequences. Big tech is under scrutiny. Governments are circling. The regulatory landscape is becoming increasingly complex, with new laws and policies being introduced to keep up with the rapid pace of technological advancement. This scrutiny is not just limited to the United States, it's a global phenomenon. The balance of power is shifting. The once unchallenged dominance of tech companies is now being questioned. Governments are asserting their authority, demanding more accountability and transparency from these corporate behemoths. This tug-of-war is reshaping the future of technology and governance. Tech companies, once seen as untouchable, are now realizing they need to play the game. They must adapt to a new reality where collaboration with regulators is not just beneficial, but essential for their survival and growth. This realization is driving a fundamental shift in how these companies operate. They need to court politicians. Building relationships with policymakers is now a strategic priority. These interactions are crucial for influencing legislation and ensuring that the interests of the tech industry are represented in the corridors of power. They need to navigate regulations. Understanding and complying with a myriad of regulations is a daunting task. Tech companies are investing heavily in legal expertise and compliance frameworks to ensure they can meet these challenges head-on. They need to prove their worth to society. Beyond regulatory compliance, tech companies are increasingly focused on demonstrating their positive impact on society. Through community outreach programs and innovative solutions, they aim to build trust and show that they are responsible corporate citizens. The future of big tech depends on it. The ability of these companies to navigate this complex landscape will determine their long-term success. Innovation must go hand in hand with responsibility, and those who can strike this balance will lead the way into the future. And the world is watching, waiting to see who will blink first. The outcome of this ongoing struggle will have profound implications for the global economy, technological progress, and the very fabric of our society. As we stand at this crossroads, the decisions made today